Good news for people who love looking at the stars. The observatory at Herstmonceux Castle has been saved for now, at least. Producer Will loves all the drama. Well, if you remember, we did tell you a year ago that the owners of the castle, Queen's University in Canada, weren't going to renew the observatory's lease, and that led to a huge local campaign to save it. But now the university and the observatory have signed a 10-year lease extension. We'll speak to a local campaigner very shortly, but joining me now is Abbie Rumbold, the Chief Executive Officer of Science Projects that runs the Observatory Science Centre. Good morning, Abbie.
Hi, Emily.
Your reaction to this news then?
So yes, I mean, as you said, we had such a kind of uncertain future and we were all so worried, but the public support has been absolutely amazing. And we've also had tremendous support from local councils and politicians. And honestly, it's just made such a difference to know, that just thousands of people really cared and understood what we were trying to do, but also just really enjoyed coming to the observatory. So we couldn't be happier that we get to stay for this 10-year period. It's really great.
It is a really special place. I'd urge anyone who hasn't gone to go and have a look round. I spent sort of many happy days there with my children when they were younger, and there was always something to see and do. And then, of course, you can go to the huge telescopes and explore the night sky as well. It must have been an incredibly stressful 12 months, though.
Yeah, it's been really, really hard. I think, every day we had visitors coming in and saying to our staff what's going to happen. And, for them, that just sort of brought the issue to the fore kind of really on a kind of daily basis. And so it's been really, really hard. We've loved doing it for 30 years. And so now, knowing that we're going to stay and know we're going to be able to keep doing that and just be able to have much more positive conversations with our visitors is just really fantastic. We're all full of hundreds, as you can imagine, hundreds of plans for the future and ideas about what we want to do. So it's really exciting.
What can you tell us about some of those plans then? Over the next 10 years, what will be happening?
Well, I mean, as you say, the thing for us that we love to do is to make sure that when families, children, adults, everybody comes, they've got something to really explore, something that's hands-on, that will engage them. And so what we want to do is just make sure that keeps happening. So we're hoping that we'll be able to get funding for new exhibits and to keep going. We'd like to make sure our cafe is a bit more lovely. We'd like to redesign some of our workshops for schools. We really want to make sure that they're kind of keeping pace with all these changes to the curriculum, but also just making sure that, it's an opportunity for when schools come for kids to really know about science now, which is, science and technology changing so fast all the time, as well as just some of the stuff that we, the old classics, I suppose we say. I think I spoke to you before about our Hoover exhibit, which is always the favourite and has been for 30 years and won't change in the future.
I'm glad that one is staying. Abbie Rumbold, thank you very much, Chief Executive Officer of Science Projects, who run the Observatory Science Centre. Well, we couldn't speak to anyone from Queen's University because of time zones mainly, but Dr. Matthew Evans, spokesperson for Barder College and Provost of Queen's University Canada, says this agreement reflects our joint ambition to preserve and enhance this unique site. The Observatory Science Centre is an important part of the Herstmonceux Castle Estate, and we look forward to working closely with Science Projects to deliver an exceptional experience for visitors. Well, listening to that is Herstmonceux local Ian Whiteley from Campaign to Save Herstmonceux Observatory Science Centre. Morning, Ian.
Good morning.
What do you make of this news then?
Well, obviously, we're delighted on the campaign. This is the culmination of a whole year of very hard work, very hard campaigning. The team, me and the team, only about eight people have been doing our best to kind of get this to help people understand what it means, what it would have meant to lose the Observatory Science Centre. And I'm so delighted that all that hard work, and we've got to say the fantastic support, just like Abbie was saying, we've had from the community. It's been very moving actually at times. Schools, community leaders, everyone has been so warm in their support, and it's not surprising because that place is, anyone who's been there knows how much love and attention goes into those buildings and those exhibits and those events. And it would have been an absolute tragedy if the Observatory Science Centre had had to move.
What does it mean to you personally when you go and visit? Are there exhibits that you go and hunt out that you would have been really sad to say goodbye to?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I've been going there for many years now, and I first went there really as a father. So I took my son there on a school visit, and then I just became totally entranced with it. I helped out with the archives for a bit, and then I became a regular volunteer. And so my big thing, I suppose, is that I'm a bit of an astronomy nerd, like many people associated with the observatory are. So I've been kind of helping out in the domes on stargazing evenings. So I help run one of the telescopes there on stargazing evenings, and that is just, for me, has been wonderful because you actually get to see people at first hand, and you get to see that light of curiosity and enthusiasm in the eyes of people, especially young children. We get children as young as 4 and 5, and you lift them up. You get the step ladder, and they mount the step ladder and put their eye to the eyepiece, and one of the most wonderful sounds you can hear as a volunteer is that word "wow" when they see Saturn or they see Jupiter. It is absolutely, I wouldn't deny it. It's the best experience of my life. Apart from having my children, this was the most important thing that's happened to me in my life, being at that observatory and being able to see the light in the eyes of those people.
Wow, I can really tell how much it means to you and how delighted you are that it has been saved for the next 10 years at least. Is your campaign fully over, though?
Well, I think there's still a role for us. One of the things is that 10 years seems like an awful long time, I know, but the observatory's been there for around 80 years. And if you look back at it, the Royal Greenwich Observatory, it's a lot longer than that. So we're keen to make sure that, as far as possible, the place goes on forever, not just for 10 years, but for 50 years and 100 years.
Well, let's bring back Abbie Rumbold then, the Chief Executive Officer of Science Project. Abbie, what does happen in 10 years' time?
Well, the lease comes to an end in 10 years' time, but we're busily having lots of conversations with Queen's and as I say, I'm planning for the future. So we're really hoping that we're not going to reach a cliff edge again, and that we'll be able to come to some arrangement or understanding around that. It is really tricky because it's difficult to understand the future, as always. And I think one of the things that's most tricky for us is that lots of funders, particularly government funding, requires you to have a 25 years rather than 10 years. But I think at the moment, we're just at the beginning of some of those discussions and working out our plans. And, I'm sure that we'll be able to find a way through it. So, yeah, we're just at the moment, to be honest, Emma, we're just really excited about the 10 years.
Abbie Rumbold, the Chief Executive Officer of Science Project, running the Observatory Science Centre in Herstmonceux, and local campaigner Ian Whiteley from the Campaign to Save Herstmonceux Observatory Science Centre. Thank you very much, both of you, for joining us this morning.